Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Daniel Jones, Week 8. The Colts just keep it rolling. Fired up for this one. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. So hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Daniel Jones, the Colts continue to be rolling right out the gate. Hey! Not only a great throw, anticipation-wise, accuracy-wise, a ridiculous route from Alec Pierce. This thing puts that corner in a blender, turf monstered and all. Just a beautiful job here all around. This offense is, dare I say, a little addictive to watch. Especially as kind of a bizarro fact that it's quarterback school. But I love the run game as much as I do. This offense is fun. Watch when he throws this thing. So he separates the throw right there. We can see the top of the route. We're coming out here on this quote unquote, we'll call it a comeback. Literally, 187 right here for the corner. We'll talk about the route, but I mean, the stem that he puts on this guy to get to this thing is beautiful. And again, anytime you're ripping anticipation throws from me, deep down the field, right? Not necessarily like in the flat, quick throws. These are deep drive throws down the field. You are playing quarterback at an elite level in the NFL. And when you're doing it consistently, it's pretty damn impressive. Again, the corner takes a massive L up top. Just watch the stem on this thing. So he starts splitting the difference between the hash and the numbers. He's going to widen, weave, turn. Oh my goodness. Do him dirty. Next one here. I thought this was a slight missed opportunity. Okay. I know your guy, Warren, all right, peeps that freak out. Warren up the middle here, I think is probably open and where the ball deserves to go. He again goes outside to Pierce. To me, that's a holding defensive PI. If they didn't get it called, that's a bummer. But again, I love this offense, man. You don't see the old fullback pop pass very often. And is it there right there? Yes. So for me, it is. He doesn't like it. All right. And again, when I'm saying it's there, I'm acknowledging the fact that there is a safety back here. But if we're going to run this little like bluff pop pass right here, you just want to raise up and you want to throw it right at him. You're not throwing it like a traditional seam down the field leading him. He's that open. Again, the second level of the defense has stepped up. You can rip it right there. And again, okay, whatever. He doesn't like it. He totally disagrees with me. He's right. I'm wrong. The number 2 out here, this deep hinge. So if this is 1, this is 2. Daniel does a great job of getting out there. And guess what? He throws it with anticipation. So not only are we throwing anticipation balls when it's the primary, the number 1, we're going inside out, getting to that number 2 with anticipation. That's elite timing, rhythm to an offense. Again, watch the fullback. Boom. Again, the safety's for sure there. There's going to be a collision. You got to put it right on him. All right, you don't like it. Maybe they only like it versus open. Who knows? When does Daniel Jones throw this thing? He's throwing it right there. He's already throwing it. We're not out of the break. Anticipation, 1 to 2. Again, it's not just when it's the primary. And again, to me, this is a penalty at the bottom of the screen that needs to be called. He grabs the hell out of him at the top of that thing. We miss it. Next one here. This is a pretty impressive play from Daniel Jones. We're technically going to be hot up top. He's going to end up throwing, I guess I'll call it a crosser, attacking the middle of the field, downs right down the middle. Okay, pun intended. You're welcome. This is not a world I would want to live in as far as being hot to the right, throwing vertical hots to the left. But when it works, it looks pretty damn sweet. I'm used to calling this just simulated pressure to the right. They're going to play middle field open, palmsy behind it. technically I would say the right guard probably oversets to start. He realizes he overset and kind of we miss both. So we're hot and we take an L. That's a big time throw. Again, I'm not saying that I necessarily love this scheme. Again, I think I've already done a good job of saying how much I appreciate and enjoy this offense. But I will say, normally if we're talking about hot answers and sound answers, this is where I think the hot normally would go. I think they end up bringing quote unquote 2 over here on what would be the uncovered player, the guard. So the guard here, these 2 are fanning for the 3 most dangerous. Okay, so if all 3 of them rush, we're going to be hot. Normally, a hot would be thrown here, maybe a one-step hitch outside. There's lots of different options. What you don't see a lot of is the other side of the field attacking the middle. And again, it works because they end up getting to middle field open here. And there's this huge void because of what they're doing with the pressure and what they're asking their linebacker to run across, one of these guys to drop, and that creates the void. Again, not a world I think anybody wants to live in consistently. It works right here. It's pretty damn impressive quarterbacking. That's big time. And again, just because I don't necessarily think it's the most sound way to attack pressure doesn't mean that it doesn't work right here for a little mini explosive. It's pretty damn impressive from 17's perspective. Again, I'll pause this thing when he goes to throw this, but the audacity to kind of hang in there and rip this thing right down the middle. Again, it's different if you're throwing hot off the widest guy way out here, which is technically the guy you'd be hot off of. But you're throwing that with an L in your face. You're staring down the barrel. I mean, when he goes to make that throw, I mean, the guy's so close, he's almost camouflaged. That's a thing of beauty. Hell yeah. Next one here, hitting my guy, Warren. Okay. The number 3 on the sail with a little double post. This is tight coverage. This is good defense. It's just better offense. It really is. I mean, there's no way around it other than the fact to say it's good coverage. The timing, the execution is better. And we're able to put it up over the second level defender, buy a little time in the pocket, get the ball out on time, on rhythm. Normally, I would say if you catch what I would consider here, so if this is the double post part of this, so big post, inside post, and then what I'm calling this sail or Seattle here, you're really kind of eyeballing the play side safety. If this safety hesitates at all, normally that's a cue to let this big post go over the top. But this corner does a good job too. He's kind of over the top of this thing the whole way. He's capped this thing the whole way. So really now, this is where you want to go. And again, you've got to navigate this second level of the defense. So if the second level of the defense gets depth, then there's almost always something underneath it, whether it be the checkdowns, something there. So you've got to see the third level, see the safety, and then get it over the second level. So the timing, the understanding, the nuance, the detail, the execution is elite right here. Watch that play side safety. As soon as he hangs right there, you're thinking, I'm going to let this big post rip. Well, that corner's way over the top. You do all that to say, now I got to get this ball up and over the linebacker type. That's not a big window. It's a hell of a throw. You turn on the Colts film, and seemingly every series, there's a play where it's elite execution. And it's different people. Certainly 28 having a great year. Certainly the offensive line is elite at certain spots. Daniel Jones playing at a high level, but 84 and 14 right there too. Next one here, RPO. They run a decent amount of RPOs. They being the Colts run a decent amount of RPOs. I personally think this iteration of an RPO, what I'm used to calling a slant or seam with a rail wheel and a flat, is one of the most difficult iterations. You really only see Tua do it consistently. So anytime I see another quarterback do it, I'm always a little mesmerized just because I do think it is one of the harder RPOs to do. And what I mean by that is when we come across here on this flat wheel, and again, they're getting there a little bit of a unique way. To me here, this is that seam or slant. Here comes that rail or wheel. And then we've got the flat coming out. So you've got these 3 options, right? And how you teach and how you see this thing can depend on what system you're in. Now, the thing that makes it difficult is not only you have those 3 options, so you've got multiple vertical options with the seam, slant, wheel, rail, whatever. You've also got the horizontal option of the flat, but we're reading this as a first level RPO. So oftentimes when you're reading vertical RPOs, you'll read second level players. But right here, this is a first level RPO. So if this player were to hard charge the mesh or just come blow up the quarterback, you've got to navigate this. You've got to deal with this basically unblocked player in your lap. And again, I think the Dolphins, off the top of my head, they call this like 52-53 Wanda. I have no idea what they call this in Indianapolis, but it is the same play basically. So you've got all these options, and you just got Daniel Jones back there dealing, making good decisions. And we've got multiple people open here. You could hand it off. That's a surf at the line of scrimmage from a defensive line perspective. You could flip it out to the flat. I like the decision to just rip it down the field, get the completion. Again, just playing point guard at a high level. So not only are we scheming people up, we're running the ball well, we're winning at the line of scrimmage, but we're making good decisions from a quarterback perspective. Next one here, we're going to end up hitting your boy 11 up top. And again, when you're playing this well, and when things are going when so many things are going your way, you have to at least be able to take a deep breath and realize some of these tip balls at some point over the course of a season are not going to go our way. But when they're going your way, hell yeah, things feel like, can do anything. Howl at the moon. And so just being able to recognize, hey, this is a nice ball from Daniel Jones. That ball's right up on his face. Perfect timing. But that batted ball could go anywhere. And the fact that it goes back to your guy is pretty spectacular. And we'll take it. Again, look when he throws this thing. He separates the throw right there. Again, there's a lot of anticipation on this film. A lot. That's just tight, middle field closed, man coverage. Here's the middle field player. Get that ball up and down. We throw that thing. It's right on his face. Can't catch it for him. Ends up turning into a volleyball set to yourself. Pretty sweet. And a little lucky. I mean, I think it's hard to argue against the luck that is involved with catching it back to yourself. But from strictly a quarterback perspective, a quarterback-centric video, a quarterback-centric channel, this is dealing. This ball is thrown on the money, a laser, between the hashes, burst tight, good coverage. Can't catch it for him. Bam. Better get ready. Bam. Next one here, first of 3 touchdown passes. My boy 11 up top, he's my boy when he makes plays like this. This is a hell of a catch. Whether this is kind of like a pseudo wheel or what, he just big bodies that thing, one hand catch and the penalty. Hell yeah. This is a nice throw from Daniel Jones. This has got some back shoulder flavor to it. The bones of this thing is just 3x1, 4 verticals. But again, I just love the decisiveness. He knows where he's going with it. He's throwing the ball in what I would consider a really high accurate clip. Now, again, this is a bit of a bastard look to me, coverage-wise. Who the hell knows what they're presenting here? This sure looks like press man coverage. Again, what they end up getting here, there's that special, here's the seam, and then here's that like pseudo wheel. So he's widening here, but to a defense, this is just 4 verticals. Again, what they do coverage-wise here is a little funky. This looks like it's manned up. Who the hell knows what this safety's doing? Is he coming down, covering the back? Do they have some sort of like weird 28 rules? It sure looks like they're playing almost Tampa from the middle perspective. But Daniel Jones finds the one-on-one and gives his guy a shot with a beautiful back shoulder. I mean, look when he makes the decision to throw this thing right there. That's a back shoulder alignment, right? So for me here, back shoulder alignment means the DB is over the top of us. There's some separation. There's space right here. And you throw that thing right at him, right at his back ear. High, let him go make a play on that thing. So it's a great decision, great identification. Give your guy a chance, and that's a big boy catch. That is get off me. One-handed, draped on you, penalty, all of the above. But again, the other part about this offense I haven't even talked about in this video yet is that there are some aggressive shots. They're throwing the ball down the field. They're letting that thing rip, and they're being rewarded for it. Right on cue, another aggressive shot. This time, bottom of the screen, what I'm used to calling a best release go. So we're going to catch middle field closed man. Pierce is going to go inside. Now, we missed this opportunity with a shot down the field. And it's there's a few things here. Again, nobody expects a quarterback to go out there and be perfect. Sure, you'd love to go out there and go 29 for 29. It's just not going to happen very often, if ever. But I love the aggressiveness. You can see what each of them is thinking as far as the release, where the ball is. If you probably asked Daniel Jones to what he could do better here, I would say throw it down the line of the receiver and probably just slightly more air. This thing looks like it comes out a tick flat, but there's a lot to like here. So first, I want you to really go to school here during this motion. So watch the bottom of the screen, watch the corner. Right there, to me, the corner is head up. Post motion here, or shift, watch him kind of shift to the outside leverage. So right there, you see him kick out right there? So to me here, during the shift, I'm thinking if he's head up, I expect the wide receiver to go outside usually on a best release go. Once he goes outside leverage here on a best release go, he's probably going to go inside and then widen out to that red line. Red line is just 5 yards from the line of scrimmage in the NFL, or 5 yards from the sideline. Now, the hard thing about best release goes is when you go inside, you got to widen as a wide receiver, but then the quarterback has to see your line. And again, it's much harder to fade those things than the traditional outside release go, where you're kind of already wider and you kind of have that natural fade. So anytime you see an inside release, best release go, I'm thinking you really got to throw it down the line more than a traditional go. So right there, he wins on the release. He does a decent job of stacking him and getting wide. But again, you can see here when Daniel Jones throws this thing, he's on a path to run out like this. He kind of straightens it up, stacks him, which I like, but the ball's already in the air. And again, the ball's probably slightly flat. And again, I'm a big fan of giving the guy a chance down the field. I know some coaches that preach the exact opposite and say, our guy or nobody. But it's one of those things where you can see the idea, the intent there. And again, man, the aggressiveness, ripping it down the field, taking advantage of those one-on-one shots. Because you're going to get one-on-one shots when you've got a back and you've got an offensive line that's playing like they're playing. You're going to get these opportunities down the field. And even if you don't hit them all the time, it's the threat as much as the big play opportunity. Next play here, this was really only the big negative play I saw from Daniel Jones in this one. To me, this is an easy hot. It's right in your face. There's no way you can take this sack, let alone take this hit. If I had to guess, I would say Downs is supposed to be running a choice. He probably chooses the right thing. It probably doesn't happen quite as fast as Daniel Jones would like. And really, Daniel Jones has to just trust to get this thing out. So if they're pressuring the nickel or the star up top, so the guy who's coming off the bunch, that's going to be the free runner for the quarterback, unblocked. You are probably going to have a hot to one of these three players. By the distribution of these two guys and the route from the number 3 here, now the release shows choice. It's not the fastest release in the world, but then the outbreak is probably right. Teams do these choice routes a little differently everywhere. Some teams, if you're quote unquote hot, you just come up and run a quick flat. And I think that's the easiest, to just throw a hot route and take this hit off the quarterback. I see why Daniel Jones, might be hesitant to throw this thing, because this thing just taking too long, right? Like, it's hard to throw anticipation flats when a guy's in your lap. But I think he probably could throw this. I probably would like to see Downs go faster, break that thing off, and take the hit off the quarterback. You never want to get hit like this playing quarterback. This to me it's right in your face. It's in your lap. It's constructed perfectly for you to have a hot answer. You got to trust it, throw it. And he just looks like everything is right except the trust and the throw part of it at the very end. And now we're going backwards. Again, it's not just, it's a sack. Watch his head hit the ground. Okay, all those things over the course of a season add up. Next one here, another beautiful little RPO. We're going to rip we'll call it a slant down here to the bottom. This is probably a second level RPO. So they are reading the linebacker, your guy 33. So if he inserts into the run, the linebacker 33 on the left, we're going to raise up and throw this thing. Boop, there it is. So it's just a really nice job, again, of having multiple RPOs, right? We've already talked about the Tua RPO where they're reading that first level of the defense. Now we're reading the second level of the defense, right? The conflict defender is right here. So he's unblocked in the run game. If he fits the run at all, and it's not quarters on the backside, right? You wouldn't want to throw this thing versus quarters because this guy would be standing right here. If he's getting out of here at all to play in any sort of half field, you've got a great opportunity for that pass option on the RPO. So it's just a beautiful job of all of those things coming together. And the threat of the run in Indy is real. You can see what it does as far as manufacturing space. So you're in a tight split to get outside leverage by the corner. We're reading 33. He inserts into the run. Look at that natural space. Pitch and catch. We got our guy on a vertical threat, staying on the move before halftime. You dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I really do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me. So thank you for taking the time and doing it. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out all the courses over at theqbschool.com. Hop over there and enroll. Finally, please make sure to follow me across all the different social media platforms. I really do appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to it. All right, into the third quarter here, we're going to take a big shot up top. Pierce, hook it up. Again, just basically a rebound go ball. This to me is much better than an overthrow. Again, this is a inside release or a best release for me with the go. This time it's a better job of Daniel Jones giving him more air, throwing it more down the line. Again, beautiful pass protection, pocket. Still, there's a little bit of a fade there as far as the throw. But man, just watch the construction of how this thing goes down. So they're presenting middle field open, right? They're presenting a two shell. They're going to get to quote unquote closed. It doesn't really matter, even if he kind of hedges this way. It's one-on-one over here. One-on-one over here. We've already talked about best release. So he's going to go inside that outside leverage of the corner. And then he's going to have to get back to that red line. And again, you'd love to throw it right down his line. This is probably widens a little bit, but Pierce does such a great job of just kind of widening and taking the defender, taking the corner with him and just big body him. It's a beautiful job. And again, aggressive down the field. We're taking shots. We're taking advantage of the one-on-ones. We're giving our guys a chance. And you saw that best release inside. Corners outside, doesn't matter. He's going to widen, stack him, give our guy a chance, go up, big body him. Next one here, second of 3 touchdown passes. This is going to end up being, it looks like an audible or a check here from Daniel Jones. I have no idea necessarily why he's checking or what he's checking to here because there's nothing there at the top of this drop, but he's able to go, extend, find downs right at the front pylon. Again, it's one of those things where Daniel Jones in this offense is playing so well. You almost forget or you kind of get lulled to sleep that he can run it a little bit. He can create, he can use his legs. He's a pretty good athlete. So all of a sudden you finally get home or push the pocket. Now he extends and they can go do scramble drill for a touchdown. So it's just a really good job of not only the communication at the line of scrimmage, always impressed when you can get to the play you want to get to, even if nothing is there post snap. But then we're making a good decision. We're not forcing the ball. Right? We're not leaving early. We're not bailing. All of a sudden the pocket is no moss. We got to go. We have the ability to create, be on the same page. Nice touchdown. Last one here. Third of 3 touchdown passes. My favorite kind of touchdown pass, little jet sweep. Doesn't get easier than that. Again, I'm going to talk about the jet sweep touchdown pass thing, but this is a beautiful job. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, elite with the ball in his hands, running the rock right now. I love the center right here, getting up, all the way up, making that block on the mic in space. Love Pierce cracking. There's a lot to like on this play. Great effort from Taylor there to get in the end zone. This is one of those things, I just don't understand why more teams don't do this. You got your primary ball carrier out here. We're coming across here. Now, some teams and this, it actually kind of chaps my ass a little bit at the high school or lower levels. Why you hand this off here, I have no idea. So I love the fact that it's a quarterback friendly system. This is a pass. So again, I see coaches, and it's mostly at lower levels, will hand this ball off, and it drives me bananas because, especially when it's your primary ball carrier, he's going to get, you count touches, not carries when you're this type of dude. So you're trying to create touches. So why wouldn't we want to pump up the completion percentage for the quarterback and pump up the catches as opposed to just being a carry? Again, maybe that's just me and a quarterback issue, but I love seeing this as a pass. Okay? Now, the actual execution here, crack, lead, and then watch the center get up to the mic. So again, and then you've got 28's got to make these guys miss. It's just a beautiful job. It's excellent execution. I mean, there's not much here quarterback play other than the fact that, you throw a little easy to catch knuckleball. But that's beautiful execution on the perimeter. Again, I've kind of given this offensive unit its flowers up until this point already. Don't feel like I have to overdo it. But I just love the fact that we are in a quarterback-friendly system. We're spreading the touches. We're blocking on the perimeter. Again, there's a bunch of dudes that can block up front on this unit, but the center getting right up to the mic like that and running him by it, that's awesome. And then that's elite balance and finish. So that is a wrap. Daniel Jones playing at a very high level. Really fun to see. I think the things that jump off the film for me with Daniel Jones, the anticipation, the arm strength, the accuracy, the timing, the rhythm, the decision-making, the aggressiveness, and then you sprinkle in some playmaking, his ability to use his feet, and maybe the best part is just this whole offensive scheme and unit, the run game, the offensive line, the level that Taylor's playing at, all those things combined make this unit a blast to watch. I got a little extra bonus footage for you here at the end if you're a run game freak as well. So enjoy. Thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one. All right, some bonus footage here. Could make a whole video on just the run game that they've got going on at Indy. I love it. This first one, probably is as much an issue with the run fit as anything else. We'll talk about it, but this is just, to me, zone to the left, whether it's inside or wide zone, it really doesn't matter with the slice split flow action. But I mean, there's nobody in the backside A gap. Like, I don't understand what they're doing here. So again, as we go to run this thing, this A gap right here is just going to be on the move, and it's never filled. So again, is somebody in the wrong in this front? Is he supposed to be in the A gap? Are we trying to stunt here? What's going on as far as this thing being gapped out? It looks like, is he supposed to get all the way over here? Well, then he's just going rogue, because this is too easy. I mean, this dude is an elite player. You can't make it this easy for him. Again, it looks like he's blitzing. He's probably trying to stunt into this and just never gets over there. I mean, there are some impressive holes to run through in this unit. Next one here, another zone run. Not quite the same action as far as the split flow slice action. This time they're running that kind of decoy slice action with your guy Pittman. But I want you to watch what happens to 33 here. Okay, so if this is just zone to the right, inside zone, wide zone, it doesn't really matter. The action here, so you're going to get the motion, and then post snap, you're going to get this slice. Oftentimes, if that's a tight end, you'll see them block here, but he's just running a straight decoy route. Watch what the route does to the guy who's probably supposed to be filling this thing and tackling this thing. And then just look at the size of the hole. Again, this to me, when you're like, when I go, hey, these guys are really good up front. Okay, that's obviously an understatement, specifically at certain positions. But when you couple it with this dude in the backfield, the level that this guy's playing at, and the design, the little wrinkles of the motion, the action, split flow, slice action, this is just tough. I mean, it's obviously impossible for the Titans to handle. Watch 33. I mean, look at the hole. There's not a defender in the hashes. There is not a defender between the hashes in front of the ball. How does that even, I mean, that is world-class design and execution. But that's a thing of beauty. That's art. Next one here, the first of 2 touchdown runs. Okay, this is going to be a crunch run. Now, they kind of got us a little bit right at the point of attack, but the right tackle does such a good job. And then the tight end falls into this block. And then again, Taylor just does the rest as far as his explosiveness to finish it. But this is not a premium look. You really only run crunch versus an over front. So at the snap here, when they bring the tight end down, this is an over front. Okay, they're setting the front to the tight end strength. So here's the tight end. Okay, here's the front. Got the shade. We got the 3 technique. And we got the defensive ends. So how do we block this crunch thing? To me, crunch starts with a wham. It's a combination of a wham and a trap. Okay, so the wham part of it is right there. The trap part of it is right there. Now, what else is going on here? We're going to influence out, and then we're going to be up to the second level everywhere else. So we're up and we're up. Now, the right tackle here is going out to the defensive end. What happens here, so that's a premium look. And what happens here is the defensive end is on a little stunt. So he's coming down here. So that everything now gets muddied. So the right tackle does a great job of closing the door there. But now the tight end can't get through on his wham. So what does he do? Does he quit? Does he take a knee? No, he just stays, goes on to the next track, stays on his track, and falls into the linebacker type. So the adjustment here is just outstanding. This is such a great job from the right tackle and tight end to fall into this thing. Watch the right tackle. He's going to close the door on the B gap. Bam. So now there's no one to wham this guy. We can't even wham the 3 technique. So what does 81 do? He just goes up to the next level, falls into the DB. I mean, it's beautiful. And then again, you know, just appreciate the lateral moves here from Taylor. Gone. Acceleration. Oh my goodness. Next one here, another touchdown run. This one a monster. 80-yard pin and pull to the nub. Again, just a thing of beauty. I have no idea how he doesn't get pushed out of bounds right here. That's a world-class balance, acceleration, finish. I mean, that is that is crazy. From a blocking perspective here, though, I love me some pin and pull. I really do. I think the decision on pin and pull always matters what you're going to do at the point of attack. So, you know, a great video that goes into significant depth about pin and pull, but this block is a big boy block. If we're going to reach this inline tight end one-on-one at the point of attack, that's a big time block if you can do that. We're going to go down here, and then we're pulling. We're out here. That's an absolute corner's nightmare, legitimate nightmare. And then we're pulling around here. So we got the pin, and we've got the pull, and we've got no idea what we're doing here at linebacker, and we're missing all sorts of tackles on the back end also. But this is a big boy block, 81 doing his thing at the point of attack, really getting himself blocked right in the chest. And then, you know, the poor corner. Oh my goodness. Getting blocked to the Gatorade. That's just murder. Really impressive. And then, I mean, you don't see safeties run like this backwards when the guy's in front of you very often and you've got the angle. Just come, you know, try to get him down. You have to try to tackle him. That's a thing of beauty right there. Nelson just murdering that poor guy to the Gatorade. And then that balance to stay in bounds there, that's big time football. Last one here. I don't know if this is duo or inside zone, and I don't really care. I think Nelson does a good job of confusing me as far as it looks like he's blocking weak side inside zone. But the right tackle here, and again, I know there's a right guard penalty on what looks like a hold, but the right tackle here is murdering people. This is a clinic tape on caking someone and then finishing them. And again, it's a bummer that the right guard puts his hands out and hooks that mic, but the right tackle here. So you cake them there, and then the real violent guys, once you get them down like this, what you do is quad them out. So you don't just like easily get off, roll off, and let the guy just be caked on the ground. You finish him through the ground. You drive your quads through the guy's soul, and then army crawl out the other side. I mean, that is nasty. They got some nasty dudes up there. That is, I mean, this is elite finish. Murder right on the logo, and then army crawling off. And then to finish it here with the army crawl, we get the, I mean, are those parachute men or something dropping from the stands? Pretty rare to get this in film. Again, I don't watch a whole lot of special teams kickoff, but to catch, it looks like they're just like dropping things from the rafters. End zone, parachute, army finishes, pretty damn awesome.